Hello, everyone. Welcome. Guys, we'll get started shortly. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started shortly here. Hey, Bill. Welcome, Bill. Welcome.
Hey, David.
Hello. We'll get started shortly. We'll get started shortly, guys. Welcome. We'll get started shortly. This evening is our advanced class. We'll get started shortly. We'll get started shortly. Hello, Todd. Welcome, Todd. Welcome. Hey, Charity. Welcome. Welcome, Charity. We'll get started shortly, guys. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Brian. Welcome, Brian. Welcome.
Hey, David.
Hello. We'll get started shortly.
All right.
Guys, this is our advanced class, our advanced trading class. We're going to go over some tips, tricks, and secrets this evening. Tips, tricks, and secrets. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Carlis. Welcome, Carlis. Welcome.
Hi, David.
Hello. Welcome. Guys, we'll get started shortly here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my trading screen here. All right, so you guys should see my trading screen here. All right. A few things I wanted to talk about in our advanced class this evening that I think a lot of our traders are not aware of, right? This is I think a good tip as far as using the systems, in particular, Monster Scalper. All right, so we'll look at that in Monster Scalper. Any questions on as we open up? Any questions on the markets? Any of the markets, as far as the equity markets, Forex, any of the markets? Any questions on anything you guys want to find out about?
I have a question, David.
Oh, okay. Hey, Collis.
What does it mean, or does it mean anything when on the 30-minute it's showing a sell signal, but on the 240 it's not?
Okay.
Which one should you pay attention to?
That's a good question. Okay, so on the 30-minute, it's got a sell signal, but on the 240, it's got a buy signal, right?
Yeah.
That's your question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look at that. 1 second here. All right. So we have an example here. Let's find it's a sell signal, right? Not a sell short, right? Just a sell, just an exit signal, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can find a good example of that. All right. Let's see here. USD, MXN. Let's see how this is. My data is a bit slow this evening, so bear with me.
So a good one might be, because one that I'm in now, either
Okay.
the dollar. So it's
Okay.
either USD, MXN.
Okay, USD. Yeah, that's the one I was getting ready to pull up. MXN.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
And
not sure if that's the one or if it's the other one I'm in.
okay, this one is still showing a buy signal on the 30.
Okay, well then it's PLN then.
Okay, so USD PLN. Okay, all right. Okay, let's wait for this data to come up. I'm going to ask you, Collis, what do you think? What do you think is happening here before?
On which one? Either one?
Yeah, but just the whole thing. So you've got a buy signal. All right, we'll wait for this to come in here. The buy signal, right? We've got a buy signal on the 240 right here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's draw it out. All right. So we've got a buy signal right here by the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's still intact. And then we had a buy signal here on the 30-minute, and it closed here. We got a sell signal to exit. All right. All right. So what's your question again?
So well, which one should you pay attention to? Should you get out because there's a sell signal in the 30-minute and not the 240? Should you hang on to it because there's not a sell signal in the 240? And does it matter how you what your position is? I mean, I'm assuming you can put your position in based on which minute that you select, or that doesn't matter?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I just want you, I just want you to kind of think it through, right?
Mhm.
Does anyone want to help? Hey, Gerald, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Can anyone help? Carly's here as far as she's got a buy signal on the 240, but she's got a sell signal here on the 30. Can anyone help her here as to what she needs to pay attention to, or if she needs to do anything at all, or what's happening here?
What I've heard you say is that if you look at different time frames for your trading, if you're like on 240 and then you look at the 30, then you could get out too soon.
Yeah. Anything else? That's good. Very good, Charity.
Yeah. Well, I think it's for me, David. When did she? What time frame did she enter in on first?
Very
That's the first
good.
thing I would ask.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. So, Carlos, now, you know, as you know, we utilize the 30 and we utilize the 40. All right. So Charity and Brian, they made a really good point. So it depends on the time frame where your entry is on. All right. So I'm assuming that your because I did hear from you when you got in your trade. So I'm assuming it's the 240, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, so the 240. So if you guys look here, and I had a trader, I was doing some coaching today. We did an installation for one of our new traders early in the week, and then we were doing some coaching and training today, and they had went ahead and put in a 30-minute time frame in here, right? And we had to change that. So your monster scalper, notice here, your monster scalper system is on a 240. So 240 chart here, everything here is on a 240. Everything here is on a 240 on your long and on your short. So keep that the same, because what we look for in Forex is we're trying to catch the big moves, right? The big trending moves. We'll catch that on the 240. The 30-minute is when we're trying to catch a smaller move, and we'll kind of do that outside of this. Now we have other traders that have been trading with us a while. You know, they know how to manipulate things, but for new traders, we want to keep it very, very simple. Okay, so Carlos, when you enter, if you enter on the 240, stay on the 240. So your entry and your exit will be on the 240. All right, don't switch back and forth from a 240 to a 30. Okay, because what could happen if you look here, right? Your 240 is still solid. It has it pulled back a bit, right? But it's still in that markup phase. We've got green candles. We have a buy signal. All right. The shorter time frame here, all right, the shorter time frame on the 30 minutes, okay, is basically this move here. This pullback here is this move here on the 30-minute. All right. So just know that the 30 minutes will move a lot quicker, right? It will move a lot quicker than the 240. 5 minutes will move. By we brought up a 5 minutes, it'll move even faster. Okay, so just stay on the 240. Try not to look at any other time frames once you in the trade. All right, once you in the trade, try not to look at any other time frames. As new traders, okay, as a new trader, once you get really good, and I hate bringing out too much information out for new traders because it gets confusing, right? There are ways that we can use the 30-minute, all right, to time our entries to get in a bit quicker, all right? But that's a skill that we have to develop. And then we can use the 30-minute to actually exit a bit quicker too, but that's a bit advanced, all right? There are ways that we can use the 30-minute time frame if we've missed the best way I know how to use the 30-minute time frame is if we've got a solid trend, right? A solid trend. Let me see if I can find one here. A solid trend on the 240, all right? And then we want to basically scalp, I would say, or get on that trend. Let's say we've missed, we don't have any big trends right now. These are early moves. Let's see here, hold on. And this is a bit advanced, but that's fine. That's what we're doing. All right, so here is a short trade here, right, to the downside, okay? So this is a short trade, GBP CHF. So pound Swiss, we can go here, GBP CHF. And we're gonna change this from long to short. So as you get going, kind of stay on the 240, especially when we've got a nice rotation like we see in here, right? In the dollar, because we want to capture that big move. That 30-minute will get us, in and out of the move. All right, that makes sense, Collis?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So let's take a look at it as an example here on how we can utilize the best way I know how to utilize the 30 minutes is doing it this way. And you'll see some of our traders will use the, if they're trading stocks, they'll do perhaps a 30-minute, 60-minute. You can actually do a 15-minute. There's a lot of noise on the 15-minute chart. All right, but 30 minutes works really well for Forex. All right, so if we look here, and this is for everyone, here is a sell short signal right here, all right, to go down. So here's our sell short signal right here to short this down. All right, so here's the short signal right here. Here is the price all the way right here. All right, so this is the 240. So this is the 240-minute time frame. All right, and then here is the 30-minute time frame. All right, here we've got basically one trade here. All right, we've got basically one trade here. Over here, let's see here. Hold on. 22. All right, so here we've got about one trade, right? One trade here. Over here, we've got several trades. You see here, Collis, we had one sell short trade here. It's still in that trade. Over here, we've had several opportunities, okay, to short that same move. All right. You see that? So we had an opportunity. So look here. Okay. All right. So here we started at 122. All right, right here. As a matter of fact, 121. All right, follow me for a second. Because this here is important because a lot of times we go back and forth on these time frames, and we need to know why, how to use these time frames properly. All right. So I'm glad you brought this up because it can get confusing. All right. Okay. Okay, so here was our entry, our sell short signal right here to go short. All right, here is our triangle right here. So basically that's at 1.20. All right. So this is on the 240-minute time frame right here. 240-minute time frame. We're still in the trade. Right? Nice downward trend, still in the trade. Sellers are in control. Okay, so if we traded it on the 240, guess what? We went short here. There's nothing to do. We're still in the trade. All right, now the 30-minute, all right, the 30-minute we can get in. So just think of it like this, right? The 240 is going to take us from, let's say, from here to Atlanta. We get on the train, right? We get on a train, right? And it's nonstop, right? And we go into Atlanta. Guess what? Right? We still it hasn't stopped. We're still on the train going to Atlanta. Yeah, right? Here we've got stops. So here on the 240, all right, on the 240. One second. On the 240, we've got several stops. So we go from Orlando, let's say to Jacksonville, and we got off, say here. So here, here is when we got on, right? We got on in Orlando right here, just like here. But guess what? We had a stop here in Jacksonville. Okay, so we got in here to go short, got out here. All right, took profits, right? We are trading this move. We still going to Atlanta, but guess what? We had a stop in Jacksonville. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so we keep going. We keep going. All right, from Jacksonville, let's say we had another stop. I don't know. Let's say Savannah, right? Savannah, Georgia. We got on again, right? In Savannah, and we got on, right? We waited, so we had a bit of the delay, right? In Jacksonville, got on again in Jacksonville, and then stopped in Savannah, right? All right, and so forth. And then we had another stop, another stop, another stop. All right, but we still heading here. We had a big move. We probably went from Savannah to Macon, Georgia, right? So we had a nice long stretch. All right, so we've had, right, perhaps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stops, right, on the way to Atlanta. All right, so 8 stops here. Guess what? This is nonstop here. All right. This here, can we do this? Absolutely. We can do this, but we have to get in and out, in and out, in and out. Here, we just get in one time, right? Which is easier to do.
Yeah, the 240, get in one time and then just wait it out.
Just wait it out, right? All right. Also, what happens here when we get on and off, on and off, on and off? What happens to our, forget about what it does to us emotionally, right? What else could happen here when we get in, what happens when we travel and we having to get, you know, on and off, right? What happened? We get what? Frustrated and delayed, right?
And delayed, yeah.
Yeah, right. What happens here when we do that with trading, guess what? We lose a lot of profit. Yes, it's frustrating, but guess what? We lose a lot of profits because within within the trade, this one right here, yes, we had some pullbacks, and all of these pullbacks right here, you see this pullback here, this pullback here, this pullback here. That's what's happening in here. And it's forcing us out of that trade. It's forcing us out of the trade. Okay. Whereas here, what we like about the 240 and the longer time frames is that we're able to stay within the trade for the big move. All right. Every time we get in and out, we are losing profits, right? We are losing profits. All right. Can we do this? Absolutely. We can trade on a smaller time frame, right? We can absolutely do this, but it takes more work, right? It takes more work. But good question. I'm glad you brought this up because we'll go. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I think another thing too that was really important. I think maybe a few weeks ago, you mentioned kind of like the time frame that these things travel. If they start to trend, kind of like the time frame that they start to trend, like this 240. You know, I remember you saying it's usually a run for about 7 to 10 days. Like if you look at this one, what you're in now, this GBP CHF, that 240 ran for 2 weeks, like 14 days if you look at it. Whereas that 30-minute, it's usually going to run on a good trend. If you go back a little bit, I see one in there where it goes for about 3 days. A good trend down on a 30-minute. This one went for about 3 days. So to help me, I mean, that was huge for me when you mentioned that. And I know it can help the new people if you kind of review the time frame. Usually a trend would travel on the 30-minute, a trend would travel on the 240, a daily. Like those daily trends can travel for, I don't know, a month or something like that. I remember you saying, right? Yeah. So, that kind of helps your patience if you can understand the expected time limit. Like when they come out of distribution, the distribution phase or the accumulation phase, when they come out of that and start the markup or the markdown, take in consideration those time limits. So you're going to get those waves of pullbacks and retracements and stuff like that. And like David said, you've got to be patient. Now, that's the biggest thing, just being patient. And we get scared when that starts putting that drawback, start putting in our profit. We don't like to see that, but we have to wait on it. You have to wait it out, or you're going to panic and get out in those 30 minutes, and it's going to keep on running.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. That's a good point. Okay, so so the 240 guys, this is why we really get to really like the 240, and there's some things we can do with the 240 to really maximize it. I'm gonna change this from to your trade. All right, to your trade here. Okay. So Carlos, what was the pair again? Your pair?
USD PLN.
Okay, USD PLN. All right. Okay. And Brian is absolutely right. Okay. And I would make a note of this. Hey, Zaire, welcome. All right. And all you guys should kind of make a note of how long to expect. Not that it's going to happen, right? But there is a time element, okay, to the different time frames. All right. With Forex, we normally don't do the daily time frame. All right. We do weekly on Forex Dominator, but for what we do every day, the 240 works well. Okay, so write this down. The 240 is going to give us about a 30-day run. A 30-day run. So if we catch a really good trend, we'll get 3.5, almost 4 weeks. All right. So kind of when you get in the trade, just expect that, right? If it fails, it fails. Okay, but have the expectation that, hey, if I get on this trade, right? And we can go back in history. I'm not just pulling this number, right? We can go back and we can see the previous runs, and they'll run about a good 30 days. There's sometimes you might get 5 weeks, sometimes you might even get 6 weeks, but 3.5, 4 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that's the expectation. All right. If it fails, we'll get a sell signal. We can get out within a couple of days, a day, if it just fails. But understand, we're doing trend following. All right. So we're trying to catch the big trends, and we need those big trends, right? That's how we make money, with the trends. Okay. So understand the forward time frame. Your expectation should be, if we catch a trend, I'm going to stay in that trade, all right, all the way to the end. And that end could be, expect about a month, 30 days. All right. The 30-minute time frame, like Brian was saying, the 30-minute time frame, okay, it's more of an intraday, meaning that we might get out if it goes against us, we'll get out usually within the day, intraday. All right. But however, if we catch a trend, just like the 240, right, the maximum we'll get is about 3 days, right? There are times when it really catches a trend, 4 days. All right. But on average, about a day and a half, right? We'll see it where we got in today, right? We might go overnight. All right. So a day and a half, right? If we get a really, really good trend, about 3 days, really good trend, 4 days. So kind of have that expectation. However, if it goes against us, right, we can get out in 30 minutes, right? We can get out pretty quick. All right. And then as we go further down in the time frame, it's gonna reduce that time. It's gonna reduce how long we're gonna stay, like a 15-minute, it's even half that time. All right. 5 minutes, even less. All right. So that's how we want to look at the time frames. Understand that a 30-minute time frame, if you get on a 30, if you're trying to get those big runs, it's not going to happen on a 30-minute time frame. All right. If we're trying to get 200, 300, 400 pips, 600 pips, like we've seen, right? With some of these moves, you're not going to get it on a 30-minute time frame. Not on one move, you'd have to get in and out. Okay. So the understand when and this will help with your mindset, right? With your mindset that, so right here, USD PLN, right? So your trade here, callers, you got in here, right here, there is nothing to do. Right? There is absolutely nothing to do. You're going to look at your P&L, and I know it's hard not to look at our P&L. It's really, really, really hard, okay, not to look at it. But we're going to get these moves right here, right? These moves right here on your 30-minute time frame, this pullback here, you're going to get sell signals, okay? Understand there are different traders. There are different traders that are trading different time frames. So where we are trading on the 240, someone else is trading on the 30, someone else is trading on the 60, someone else is day trading, might be trading on a 5-minute time frame. So these are different opportunities for a different type of trader. Okay. But good question. Good question.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
And one more thing too, like if you go back to that USD PLN 240,
right here.
and if you, yeah, and so if you go down to where it's consolidating that down there at the bottom,
Right
Go to the
here.
left. Yeah, right there. So sometimes, a lot of times we like to wonder, when it comes out of this accumulation phase here, how long is it going to run? And so a lot of times, what helped me in the past is at the beginning of consolidation to when that blue signal comes up, that's about 9 to 10 days. Okay, that it stayed in consolidation.
Okay.
And
right here. Okay.
Yeah, and so about 9 to 10 days. If if I look at that selling climax right there, it's probably May 30th, and then it gave a signal on June 9th. And so it ran till it gave another signal all the way from June 9th all the way up to June 20th, which is about 10, 11 days. So usually, sometimes a good rule, not always, but sometimes a good rule of thumb is that however long it's spent in consolidation, it possibly will mark up or mark down that long as well. So you can start, that's when you want to be like, yo, okay, it's probably not going to run forever. So, because it didn't stay in consolidation that long, this is where they build up their demand at, how much they want to take. So just kind of be weary of that. So you just ain't just in the trade and just hope it's going to keep going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. At some point, the buyers get tired and it just starts to go back down. So for me, what has helped me in the past is, like I said, it doesn't always work, but for the most part, they're pretty consistent with matching that time frame in consolidation, especially coming out of a nice accumulation phase like that. Where it's at right now, like that's a real choppy accumulation phase. Really, I mean, that can go, really up or down. That could be distribution or accumulation right there at this point. And we just really don't know what that's going to do. And really, that's where I really rely on the system at. I try not to read too deep into it. I just, okay, blue signal, I'm just going to get it. Let me just get it and see what happens and, hope it goes up. But if you look at that, here again, it reversing because it gave a double top. That's just basic common, chart pattern law right there. It gave a double top. So it's going to reverse a little bit. And so you just have to know those type things so you don't panic and freak out, and hold your position, because those moving averages got to come up, and it might just go into the moving average and give you a white candle, but then turn around and give you a green candle. And like David said last week, that's a great time to take another position. So don't get scared when it pulls back like that. Wait and see what it does. It might give you an opportunity to take another position. So, yeah, it's just a lot to it.
Yeah. And guys, listen to how Brian, right? Listen to how Brian explains things, right? And Brian has been with us for a while. And I know for new folks, right? Initially you won't be able to analyze it like this, but as you do it, right? You come to the classes, you do it, you guys will figure it out. Okay. So what Brian is saying in essence is this, right? This consolidation in here, it wasn't a very long consolidation. And I know a lot of times we don't like the consolidations, right? Because we waiting for the moves. I love consolidations, right? Because the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout, the larger the move. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the smaller, when we don't have a lot of consolidation and when it's not tight, this isn't really tight consolidation. All right. Yeah. Anytime we have consolidation, it's good. It's good because we're going to expect a breakout. Just like here, we had consolidation, right? We broke out to the downside, right? I'm not going to bring in a short signal, but we had a short signal here to go into the downside. Consolidation in here. Okay, even in here, we've got some consolidation. And look what's happening here. and learning this stuff, not just following, because Brian doesn't just follow the signals, right? He's following the patterns of what price action is doing. All right. So if you look here, and this is a great example, I'm really glad we're talking about this. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll go through this. All right. We've got about 15 more minutes, and I did want to touch on this. All right. But if you look here, right, all we're doing when we trading, guys, all we're doing is we're testing. We're not saying, hey, we know that this is what's going to happen. We're constantly testing, and we're testing support and resistance, and we're testing these different levels. So if we know here, we've got some pretty good resistance in here. Look here, we've got resistance in here. Price hit this resistance line right here, which is 4.48. Hit that there, pull back. Hit resistance right here, pull back. This is not an accident. Hit resistance here. We got a buy signal right here on a break of this resistance. Failed. Pull back, failed. Price went up to that resistance again. We are constantly testing. All right. Hit resistance, got a buy signal here, failed. Sellers came in this time and really took the price down, but we out, right? So we test, we price hit resistance here, hit resistance here. We got a buy signal here, failed, buy signal here, failed. All right. Price came down to that markdown phase. We got new resistance right here. We got a buy signal here, took it back up, right to this area here, made a move higher. Guess what? Sellers came back down. All right. So we know that this area here is pretty good resistance. It is really good resistance. That's your ceiling. That is your ceiling, guys. Pay attention to that. All right. Now, once we break, guess what? It's smooth sailing. It's smooth sailing. But if we get in after it breaks, it's too late. All right. So we testing. So watch this. It failed right here, broke support right here. We got a sell signal to get out. All right. Waited, tested that area. There are buyers waiting here. All right. So buyers are here and sellers are also here. Right. The buyers are looking to push the price higher. Sellers are looking to push it lower. Guess what? The sellers won again. So constantly testing. Now, the more we test it, that area, the weaker it gets. Okay. The more we test that area here and here and here and here and here and here, the more we test resistance, the weaker it gets. We got another break right here. Buy signal right here. We broke resistance, and now we hoping, and we just hoping, and we holding. And what we want the price to do is stay above, as long as it can stay above. So forget the 30 minutes, right? Stay on this chart. That's why we don't want to trade too many pairs. If we trade a lot of pairs, imagine analyzing 7 pairs, going through this process for 7 pairs, right? We need to know that the whole group, right? The whole dollar group, that they're up and they're moving up, right? But we need 1 pair, guys. You can put, once you get really good, you can trade 1 pair and do really, really well. You can put a lot of capital, 1 pair, and do really, really well. But this type of work has to go into your trade so that you can stay patient. So Carlos, here is your trade right here. Guess what? This could happen. Sellers, guess what? It failed here, failed here, failed here, failed here, failed here, and failed here. It could fail here again. It can absolutely hit resistance. Resistance becomes support. The price could come back down, hit this previous resistance is now support, and get us here. We don't panic. We just stay with it. guess what? We could get a sell signal here. Price could do this right here. Guess what? Give us another buy signal, and now we off to the races. Now, guess what? Look what we have right here. Check this out. So that's why we don't want to do all of these time frame, all of these pairs. We don't want to be all over the place. All right. So here, look what's happening here. Price, just like it's accumulating here, we want that accumulation because that's when we're going to get that breakout. All right. Look at that breakout here, right? Accumulation, not great accumulation, but look at the buyers came in. Buyers came in big time, push that price up. Every time we break resistance, not every single time, but it happens a lot. Like Brian said, boy, when it breaks resistance, they come in, right? But so guess what? We're looking for the same thing here. So guess what? If the price, because we can't control what happens. We can't control, right? So we can only react to what happens. So guess what? If the price comes back down, right? Break support, we have to get out. If the price, if it does this, comes down all the way, like kind of like it did here, guess what? We're out of it up here, right? We've taken a small loss. All right. If it continues to test, let's say it continues, it pulls back, and this happens a lot, right? It pulls back, guess what? Keeps us in the trade, right? This is what's scary here for a lot of us, right? It pulls back, right? Holds previous resistance, which is now support. And you'll see this happens a lot, right? Boy, buyers really come in and start pushing that price higher. Okay. So when we trade like this, we're not thinking about our P&L. You know, we're not even watching our P&L. We just watching what the trades are doing here, what it's doing here. Is it holding previous resistance support? Is it holding? Is it holding? Is it holding? Do we have green candles, right? Do we have white candles? Do we have a big seller coming in? Do we have a red candle? Do we have a sell signal that came in, so we have to get out? That's how we manage our trades. Okay, that's how we manage our trades. Candle by candle by candle by candle. All right. And guess what? If it breaks this resistance, so let's say we got in here, Carlos, we have resistance right here. Guess what? Buyers come in. We've got more confirmation that it's moving higher. We pay attention. Guess what? We add another position right here. We add a second position right here, and we follow it all the way up. It keeps going higher. It creates another support and resistance. All right. It breaks that resistance. So it's just like trading that 30-minute, right? But guess what? We're scaling up, and we're tracking that price. We're moving right along with that price, similar to what we did here. All right. So that's why I say, you guys don't have to trade. I tell you, 1 or 2 trades. All right. 1 or 2 positions is all you need. You don't need to trade 7 pairs, 8 pairs. That's absolutely crazy. Okay. Because you do have to watch out for these levels. Watch out so you don't get trapped. All right. And trapped meaning that you don't know what's happening. Right. And guess what? If we got a sell signal, let's say we got a sell signal to get out, and the worst thing that happens is that you don't get out because you're not following the process, and you don't realize, guess what? There's sellers, they're big sellers that are holding right here, looking to knock that price back down, If we don't get out here, guess what? We could be holding the bag all the way down here. All right. Yeah. All right. So I'm glad we went. Yes, Brian.
Were you finished? Right. Okay. Yeah. Take a look at USDCNH. This one is USDCNH.
Okay. Does that help, guys? Does that help? USD CNH, USD CNH, right here. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good consolidation right there.
And Brian, why do you say it's a good consolidation?
Well, we see it came out of a long markup. Okay. So now, it's been in consolidation for quite a while. If you look where it is now, from where when it came out of that nice little markup phase, it started to go down. So now it's at a pretty good consolidation. So if I wanted to, if I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, consolidation probably started on June 3rd. It's been consolidating all the way up to July 1st. And the support and resistance zones are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So at some point in time, prices will squeeze out of this thing and go either up or down. And this is where we have to be patient at, because we really don't know. Now, I would want it to go up, obviously. So when in doubt, they always say zoom out. So I would go see what this thing has been doing as far as direction is concerned. So it came off a huge daily uptrend, daily uptrend, and now it's starting to go into this. I don't know what this is, a rectangle, a diagonal squeeze, so to speak. Yeah, that right there, what you just put up there. So price got to come out of that one way or another at some point. And I would hope that it would be going up, continue up, so it'd be another reaccumulation.
Yeah. So this is why I love when our experienced traders come on here. And I know they get busy with their own trading. But boy, when you guys can pick up some really good, and Brian is really cool to have Brian on. All right. Yeah, you guys can learn a lot. Okay. This is exactly the type of consolidation we want. This is absolutely just perfect trading here. All right. So we look here. So perfect markup phase. Look here, markup, great trading, and the system is trading it really well. And a tip I want to give you guys, when you pull up a chart, right? You can pull up a chart in your system. Look at how the system is trading that currency pair. All right, or anything, whether it's stocks, any of our systems. Look at how the system is trading it. If it's choppy, you're getting a lot of losses, right? Stay away from that chart. You're getting a lot of consolidation, bad consolidation. You're not getting a lot of trends. All right. So this here had a perfect good trade here for a lot of pips. Another nice trade here. All right. This one here failed with a small little loss right here. And here we've got a buy signal. And Brian is exactly right. If you guys look here, price is being squeezed. And just think of it as we know we're going up, right? We know we're going up. We're not at the bottom, right? Nice upward trend, and price is just holding. And what's happening is this, right? We're getting, look at how the price is being narrowed, right? It's getting narrower and narrower right within that triangle. And just think of it as you can only squeeze price so long before it pops. All right, that's why we like those really tight consolidations. It has to pop. It has to pop either to the upside or down to the downside. And traders are watching this. And when they come in, they'll come in real heavy to push the price either to the downside, all right, break this trend line here, or to the upside to break this trend line right here. Now, what do we have in our favor? right? We know that, guess what? Price is moving higher, right? It's not in a downward trend, it's in an upward trend, and the price is resting. It's just holding, right? For the buyers to come in. So we've got that in our favor. Plus we know, guess what? The dollar pairs are moving higher. We know that the dollar index has a buy signal on the monthly, weekly, daily, and even the 240. So guess what? Guess what? The potential is for the price to break through here, buyers to come in to continue this move here. All right. We do have a buy signal here, right? It's a weak buy signal, but we've seen this many times where price will do like this, right? It will hold, pull back. It might even pull back down to this area in here. And then guess what? All of a sudden, push up, break out. We got big buyers coming in, and now we're off to the races. Okay. Brian, this is a good example. Thanks. All right.
Yeah, like even if like I'm in that trade right now, so even if it closed out and gave a a white sell signal to get out, I'm gonna wait for another blue buy signal to get back in. I'm just gonna take that loss and wait, because price has to do something. Just like David said, it has to go one way or the other. And like he said, he gave all those, I think you gave about 5 different confluences in our favor of the potential to go up. And because of all those cues you gave, I'm hoping that it goes up just off those 5 different confluences that David just gave. That price is doing with all the dollar pairs are blue. The dollar index is blue on the monthly, weekly, daily, 240 time frame. Price is squeezing, came out of a markup phase. Just all those things are in our favor for that to possibly just burst out of there and run for a little bit. And that should run a pretty good ways. I mean, it was in consolidation for a month. So that
and that's a build up, and that's a lot of pressure building up, guys. Money has to go somewhere. All right. That's a lot of build up. Now, look at this, right? See what we do. This is what's fun about this.
And Mr. David,
yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it prudent for one to hold for this period for the dollar bucks?
I'm having a difficult time hearing you. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I was asking, is it prudent for one to hold the dollar back for now, for some few days?
Can anyone else help me with? I can't really understand. You're not coming in clear. Is it prudent for one to hold what?
So the situation here.
Can you do me a favor? Can you type it in the chat for me, please? Type your question in the chat for me, please. And I'll get it answered. Sorry about that. Yeah, so understand, guys, we are not just getting into these trades. Now you can, right? We can just get in, right? And this is the advanced class, right? So we're doing some, we're taking time to analyze these trades. All right. We are not just getting into trades, right? Brian isn't just buying on these blue arrows, right? And this is where the work comes in. He's analyzing the whole trade, and he's looking for the very, very best opportunity, right? Because this is his money, his capital, and this is the way you guys want to think, right? So put some time into it. And when we do this, guess what? Even if it fails, right? When it fails, this is important. It's nothing that we did wrong. Because a lot of times, you know, when we get a buy signal and it goes in our favor and we make some money, we think, okay, we did great. All right. And guess what? We do the same thing. We get a buy signal. It doesn't go in our favor. We get a loss and we did bad. There's nothing. It's not about whether we did good or bad. It's just trading. It's all we're doing. Right. It's all we are traders. So what we're doing is we're looking at the zones, looking at the areas, looking at support and resistance, looking at all of these opportunities here are different. Every time frame, even with the moving all of the dollars, every dollar pair, we looked at caller's pair that's a very different setup. All right. Her setup, USD PLN, is a very different setup from USD CNH. All right. So that's where the work comes in, just paying a little bit of attention. You know, I know it's hard. You guys don't know all of this yet, to draw in these triangles, draw in support and resistance, and, you know, and all of that. But understand that that is part of what we have to do. Okay. So if it fails here, Brian has it's no big deal, right? He knows what's building up. He's going to keep at it, right? Not give up. If it gives another buy signal, guess what? He's going to get in. If it fails, if it doesn't give a buy signal, sellers come in, right? Sellers come in, gives us exit signal to get out. Price goes down. Guess what? No more longs. We can't trade it long anymore, right? We might have to look at some short opportunities. Okay. But that's how it's done. That's how it's done.
Right. And then just to add one last point to David, you know, because, you know, we're taught to, you know, kind of wait to the range scale of that pair get close to the 20s or in the 20s. Well, if you look at that, that's at the bottom. That's like that's the first one on there. It's like it's range in that 12 point, look like that 12.04. If you scroll down on the right. Go down. So it's down at the bottom, the very bottom.
It's at the bottom. You guys see that there?
Right. Right. So this is where your opportunity is. That's where consolidation is taking place. But with a setup like this is where your opportunity is. I know we always want to get in at the bottom or get in at the ground floor. You know, if this thing goes up, that's like getting in at the ground floor right there, because it's at the bottom of consolidation. Well, not the bottom, but the bottom of the range with a 12, but it's been consolidating for a month. That's, you know, so when this thing starts to move up, it's going to move up. It's going to get to 20 so quick, you know, it's in a matter of hours. So you might say, well, it ain't at 20 yet. It's still in the red. You know, you go do something for 2 or 3 hours and come back. It's at 25. And now it's too late. It's too late to get in the trade. You've missed it. So unfortunately, this is where you got to take your chances at. And, you know, like Dave said, you do the work, do the homework. And I can't stress it enough to learn those 4 market phases. Those 4 market phases are your friend. And it will help you understand this a lot more. If you just do the 4 market phases and look at those phases and try to match them up with these different pairs, you will see it, and they get to a point where these pairs will start jumping out at you when they're in distribution phase or accumulation phase. And then you won't be so shook up on what to do or which way to go. You could just be patient and wait for this thing to move, and then you move. You move and it moves, but you're anticipating the move as well. And you'll do fine. Yeah, you're gonna lose some. I still lose some, but you know, the run, you're gonna make it back. You're gonna get it back if you just be patient. You might not get it all back at that time, but eventually it'll come back. You'll do well.
And Brian, when you started, you weren't trading like this.
No, man, come on, bro. I lost so much money, bro. I was doing all kind of stuff. I was trying to figure it out my way. I was doing all kind of crazy stuff, man. But no, you let the system work for you. Be patient, and that's a huge key. Just cause it's in the red, when it's in, you want to look for, like, if you just clicked on each one of those red ones, it'll probably show you, one of them probably show you some pairs like that are set up, ready to go, maybe up or down. Like when the market was rotating, I was loving it. I'm like, okay, this thing is getting ready to set up. So let's go see what we can find. And that's how I found this USD CNH, because it was rotating and everything was just consolidating. That's what you wanted to do. So that's helping me in a good position.
We talk about this, right? And we'll finish with this. We'll finish with this. And I want to thank you guys for staying on. I know it's Friday, right? End of the week. But guess what? I'm glad you guys came on, especially new traders with us, because what Brian is that these nuggets, guys, whenever these guys come on, right? They don't come on a lot, all right? Because they've figured things out. They don't have to come to these training classes. They've figured things out. All right. I wish they would all come on. I wish all our great. You can't imagine the wealth of knowledge if we had all our traders come on. All right, but we know that's not realistic. And Brian has been with us for a while, and I'm just. What he's been doing is just amazing, just his understanding, right? I didn't even catch this one here. I didn't even catch this, right? It's all the way at the bottom here, tight consolidation, and it's $1 pair. It's $1 pair. Imagine, and he talked about a low price. You're getting a really, really low price. It's all the way, it's in a tight consolidation. By the time, let's say it gets up to this in here, right? By the time it gets up in here, and let's say it's in the 50s, so it moves from negative 12, all right, to 40, 50, 60. That's this move right here. That's hundreds of pips, right? That's hundreds of pips. And you caught it right on here, and he's watching it. He's watching it. All right. So is it? I always say it is simple. This is simple because it's right here for all of us to see, right? Right. If Brian caught it, we can all catch it, right? It's simple, but it's not easy because he's putting in some work. All right. So thanks, Brian. It's always a pleasure when you come on. It's always a pleasure. I want to thank you. Did you guys learn anything from Brian this evening? You guys learn anything at all from Brian, from what he went over here?
Yes, very helpful.
Okay, very good, Carlos. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, I'm here. It was good. And I learned that it's good to check out the pairs at the very bottom and keep my eye on those and put them on my watch list. That was good stuff.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's a good point. Put it on your watch list so that you don't forget it, right? So put it on your watch list. I'll show you guys, perhaps remind me next week. I'll show you guys how to create a watch list, right? On your platform. All right. So just remind me, we'll go through next Friday or one of the days next week, right? We'll go through how to create a watch list. All right. Charity, how about you? Did you get anything from this evening? This is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Also just looking more at the triangle and the consolidation and the trend following that upward trend for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, so a lot of the work that we have to do is get to like these consolidations. These consolidations are, this is where you'll build up. This is the wait. This is where we wait patiently. And most traders, right, they can't wait through this. We get in a hurry, but this is where we wait patiently, right, for that move, right? And we get paid, right? We make money on how patient we are. All right. So this is the work. And I missed this one. I have to say, I missed this one all the way down here. This is a triangle right here. Price is being squeezed. It's gotta pop. It's gotta pop. All right. It has to break out of this. All right. Let's see here. I want to show you guys this. And then I'll let you guys go. Zaire, good stuff, huh?
Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah. All right. I want to show, let's see here, and then I'll let you guys go for the weekend. My data is really slow. I wanted to see the previous trade. Hold on. My data. Okay, here we are. Let's see the previous trade. Look at that previous trade here. So look at this. Now, this is Brian's trade here setting up right here. Look at the previous break. All right, look at that previous break there. All right, look at the consolidation in here. Look at that consolidation. Look here. All right, look here. Same thing here. Look at the triangle setting up here. This is the previous trade. Same pair. All right, look here. This is the previous trade. All right, price is being squeezed. All right, we had one trade here, but look here. Look what's happening here. Got a buy signal here. Held it, held it, held it. Here is your resistance. All right, here is your resistance right here. Look at this. Once it finally broke resistance, look at this big candle here. You guys see that? See this big candle here?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. This is what Brian is waiting for here. That's the money here. And look what happened. Got that big candle. They come in heavy. Price is being squeezed, guys. Price is being squeezed. That's why this here, a great setup. All right. Look at that big breakout. All right. Look at that big breakout there. And look here. Look what happened after that. Look what happened after that. Look what happened after that breakout. Look at what happened after that big candle right here. Off to the races. It pays, right? It really does pay. And you don't need, so those of you, you know, I know we look at all of these pairs are moving. They're all, you know, when they all break out, we get a new rotation. I know we get excited about you know, trading these pairs, find a good one or two, right? And just stay with them because you don't need all of them. Find the best setup. Not all of them have this setup. Some of them are better than others, okay? So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Great weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys. Hope this helped. All right, good class. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.